FIFA. Oh man, where do I even begin? I'll tell you where I begin. Joseph Blatter, Sepp Blatter to the rest of the world. First there's indictments of all my top officials, then I'm re-elected anyway, then the next day I blame America and England for everything, then 2 days later I resign. What the heck is going on? What's gonna happen from here? I'll tell you what's gonna happen. FIFA needs to be cleaned up. That's where I take a look at all of this and say, how do we do it? Because clearly the whole organization is corrupt. People this week after Sepp Blatter resigns, kicking around a lot of names of people that could take over FIFA, clean it up, get out the bribery, the racketeering, all these things that have been going down for the last 20, 40, who knows how long years. In order to clean up FIFA, it's gotta be people from the outside. And here's the problem. It's probably not gonna happen. So people, rightly, getting all kinds of excited, having celebrations the day that Sepp Blatter announces his resignation this week, everybody needs to slow their roll because Sepp Blatter is only the beginning of this. Clearly, he's got to be involved in this, and you got to think that somewhere, sometime, the FBI, the people who are investigating things in the United States government, they're going to find the path that leads to Sepp. Something like this week when his right-hand man was found to have potentially taken $10 million to take a bribe to basically get the World Cup somewhere. They're talking about the 2018 World Cup in Russia, 2022 in Qatar. It's all gonna lead to somewhere. But the problem is it's not just gonna be Sepp Blatter that's involved. It's gonna be his lieutenants. It's gonna be people in every organization in the world. If we think that this is just shady individuals from, Asia, Africa, Australia, certainly not people in the United States of America or people in England or some of the Western culture, we're dead wrong. Because ultimately there's a lot of people involved, a lot of people with their hands in the cookie jar, and a lot of people who are helping to make FIFA corrupt over the last 20 years. What I would propose is that they bring in somebody from the outside. Well, sure, of course, bring in somebody from outside the organization. What's the problem with that? Here's the problem with that. After Sepp Blatter was elected in 2011, FIFA passed a rule that says you can't bring somebody into FIFA from the outside. Effectively knowing that someday his reign of tyranny would end, Sepp Blatter put in a rule that limited the people who could replace him to people that he trusts. So we've got to change that. You've got to take a look at changing the voting process for FIFA. Right now, every single country gets a vote, which means that all Sepp has to do is go to countries, promise them World Cups, promise them different things, and they're going to vote for him. Small countries you've never heard of have the same amount of votes as countries that are world soccer powers. That's got to change. In the end, it's going to be helpful that we get Sepp Blatter out of there and get new blood in as the president of FIFA, but it only matters if we also get new people throughout the organization and a new culture that talks about integrity and transparency and respect for the game, not taking bribes and doing what they can to benefit themselves. You got to be selfless and think about soccer first, and we've got to get people in there who are willing to do that before anything in FIFA changes. I'm Pete, and that's my rant.